She is a financial planner and advisor.
The founder and president of Zinnia Wealth Management is also a popular radio host.
There's a way to have the money to market and have protected growth.
This holistic approach will help people get to and through retirement.
Absolutely.
You have to change the way that you think. It's not about having these double-digit returns anymore. Things are changing, and you have to have an advisor that even know what the change is.
Your outcome is going to become very desirable if you have some sort of coach helping you along the way.
And our next recipient from the Media and Communications Excellence,
Charisse.
You do not have to risk all your money in the market to survive, because it's about the retirement dream.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Retirement Coffee Talk, home of Zinnia Wealth, our 3:30 every Thursday Facebook Live event. I'm here to educate you, inspire you, and get you to retirement and beyond. So we're going to do a pregame today. Last week we talked about health insurances, different types of insurances if you're laid off or if you're turning 65. Week before that we talked about stocks and dividend yields. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten it up a little bit this week, because first we're going to talk about what's going on in the stock market. We all know that. We're going to talk about what's happening in Central and North Florida, and then we're going to go into Zinnia U, and we're going to talk about 5 insurances you might need that you're forgetting to purchase. And if you're looking to buy a house in the next 12 to 18 months, some tips on the financial side to get you ready. Alrighty, and if you guys hear me talking to myself, I'm not talking to myself. I have Mike behind the scenes. He's my producer, and he's just telling me if we're having glitches and so on and so forth. So everybody say hi, Mike. Hi, Mike. Give him a thumbs up. Okay, let's start with the stock market. So we kind of started out this week a little bobbly, and jobless claims again, 17 weeks in a row, claims over 1 million, and so the saga goes on. Even though people are going back to work, we don't have enough people going back to work, and shockingly, we still have 1 million people claiming unemployment every week. So still worried about that and getting people back on the drive to work. And let's talk about Asia. Conflict with Asia, United States, their stocks dropped. So guess what? Ours dropped. And so that is why today has not been a great day. A couple days ago, markets started popping, right? We saw airlines going back up. We saw hotels going back up. Tech stocks started going back down, and that was all because of Asia. But I will say, let's hope for a better day tomorrow, which is Friday. Everybody's probably excited about that day if you're going to work, back to work these days. Some stocks that fell. Twitter fell 3%. There's some issues over there with Twitter. Some nice gains. Bright Spot, if anybody knows anything about that one had a 7.5% gain this week. So just kind of keeping you up on biggest losers and the biggest winners out there. All right, so let's talk about the banks. JP Morgan and Citibank, they had reasonable expectations for second quarter earnings, so that was really good. But of course, Wells Fargo fell 5%, and I will tell you, can you imagine why? So I do question Wells Fargo these days. I am not a Wells Fargo fan, and therefore I did move my account. So it's my own opinion. And let's talk about the Dow and the S&P 500 and the Russell. The Dow Jones did spike, Tuesday and Wednesday. I started watching our stock funds go up, and I was hoping for a 3-day run up here, but we didn't quite get it. So again, Friday, we'll see what happens there. What is also rolling back the market? Well, California basically said, hey, we're rolling things back. We decided not to open the zoos. We decided not to open the bars and the restaurants. So there was a rollback there, which caused some issues, and not a whole lot of people are happy about that. China's relationships are now deteriorating even more, not like they weren't before, but they definitely are having some issues right now. Let me just read what I have here. It says the Trump administration rejected China's maritime claims in South China Sea, while China announced it was imposing sanctions on Lockheed Martin after U.S. approved a deal for supply of missiles, part of Taiwan. So now we're fighting over, minuscule things now, and so we'll see what happens with that here soon to come. All right, Trump news. Trump didn't really have anything good to say this week, and I think I'm going to leave him out of it. He did say he was very grateful to have citizens, our sheriff, our police departments out there risking their lives. He did a roundtable with a lot of the victims of the police force and just really said, hey, kudos to you for risking your lives, getting out there, trying to save people. So I thought that was pretty fine. So he does some nice things out there once in a while. Hey, I didn't say I wasn't a Trump fan. I just had to razz on him this week. All right, Governor DeSantis, what is he doing? Well, you know what he did this past week? He went to Miami. Miami-Dade, and basically there he was talking to the mayors down there, and which is the epicenter of this virus. So he's pretty brave going down there, and he's doing a lot of traveling, but he got some criticism, basically because he did not mandate statewide masks. You know, my feeling on those statewide masks, you know, I go to different, you know, if you go to a different state, you have to wear them. I say maybe restaurants, maybe just the stores decide, hey, you have to wear the mask. I think people are pretty reasonably responsible when it comes to deciding to wear masks or not. I know when people come to my office, they're wearing masks, and then they get comfortable, they take it off because we're sitting pretty far apart in my office. But I will say Walmart today, I forgot, Walmart today came out and said, Walmart's nationwide, you have to wear a mask. You cannot take it off. Employees and people coming in to purchase goods. So that's interesting. But I'm okay with the Governor DeSantis ruling on not having statewide masks. I think we're adult. We can handle that ourselves. All right. Sad story. Kelly Preston, this is John Travolta's wife. She passed away of breast cancer. She was fighting it for 2 years. She was 57 years old. Oh, my goodness. One of my favorite actresses. It's so sad to see that happen here locally. And we wish the best for John Travolta also out there. Let's talk about Florida. Yikes. Florida saw the highest single day COVID cases this past week. The highest. What is this? More than 15,000. That is a lot. And I will tell you, some clients who work at hospitals, and they called me and said, yeah, we're seeing double the cases. We're seeing double the cases. Here's something else that's really interesting. They're telling us that if you have the virus, but you don't have any symptoms, that you're not passing it on, it's not contagious. So does anybody know for sure? You hear one thing on Google, you read this, you watch TV. Anybody out there who's listening say, anybody have an answer for me? Because I really want to know what's the deal here. Because I can't get a real honest answer. It doesn't matter where I look. Also, I want to do some props out to Gainesville. Gainesville, they have GNV Cares, which launched early in May. And Gainesville and Alachua County is basically giving out money to local businesses to help support them. They've already given out $580,000. Kudos to Gainesville. And I will say, I'm going to check with Kevin Shealy here at Ocala Chamber. They're doing some things too, but I haven't heard a whole bunch, but I know they're helping small businesses as well. Lastly, Marion County. What do we got here? Okay, so Marion County school is supposed to start August 10th, and now the teachers are saying that they don't think it's responsible for us to open those. So now they're talking about maybe a reopening at a later date. We'll see what happens. So that's basically Central Florida news. Nothing too big of a deal except for the sadness of Miss Kelly Preston, John Travolta's wife. Okay, so that kind of gives us our just quick update about the news and what's going on. Here's our fun segment. It's called Trivia. And if you've been listening the last couple of weeks, we started this new trivia. 4 questions. 2 questions come from the week prior, so I hope you did some studying. And then 2 fun questions, okay? You have to get all 4 right, okay? All 4. And what you have to do is you can't email me. I got a couple emails, so we had some extra winners last week. You have to put them into Facebook and answer them there. And you just have to answer them by end of our Facebook Live event. And remember, what do you get? I will mail out a check for $100 to each winner to their charity of choice or church. And we will mail you the check first, and you can deliver from there. Okay, get ready. If you don't know the answer, put it in. Don't upset me today. Okay, question number 1. Okay, from the last any of you, I said there are 4 to 5 paychecks you should receive in retirement. And basically what I want to know, which of the following was not mentioned, okay? And so we talked about last week, we want you to become an income wizard by the time you get to retirement. And when you are in retirement, we want 4 to 5 paychecks coming to you every month. Okay, so is the answer, which one was not mentioned? A, Social Security check. That's an easy answer. B, dividend check. C, pension or contractual guarantee. D, real estate. Or E, A through D. Were they all mentioned? Okay, I'm going to go fast and furious here, but I try to keep this Facebook Live only 30 minutes. All right, question 2. From our last AU, within how many days of a job loss did I say you need to sign up for health insurance through your state or federal exchange? A, 90 days. This should be easy. B, 60 days. C, 1 year. D, there is no time constraint. Don't we wish? Give you a hint. Okay, number 3. Okay, this is the fun one. Okay, so boring stuff is out. Which of the following, which popular 80s TV show starred the character Hawkeye? Come on. A, MASH. B, Dallas. Dallas? I don't know. C, Magnum PI. One of my favorites. And then D, The Jeffersons. These are all my favorites, actually. All right, put your answers in there. A, MASH. Mike, can everybody see the question and answer on there? Okay. Fourth question. This fourth question is usually the easiest because one, to get to know Charisse a little bit better. What is Charisse's favorite holiday? July 4th, Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Halloween? This is a tough one. This is a tough one for me too, but it went by a landslide basically. So remember, if you answer all 4 by the end of this segment of this Facebook Live, and you get all 4 right, you're gonna get a check to your charity for $100. It does not matter how many checks go out. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to enter our next segment called Zinnia You. Zinnia educating you. That's basically what this is. So we're going to start out with insurance because we buy insurance for our homes in case our home burns up, right? Major fires, major anything, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes. Thank God there's no earthquakes around here. But here's the deal. We buy homeowners insurance because we've been taught you got to have that. But one in every, I think they say the stats were, I can't even tell you, let's put it this way, 1 every 1 million people actually use those policies. So you pay for amazing insurance for coverage, but you don't even use it. So people are forgetting there are other insurances that are just important because insurance is crucial to financial planning, whether you're in your 30s or 40s or 60s. Because if you're younger, you want to plan for the insurances in case you get laid off or you get an injury, or let's say you get disabled and you don't want to start pulling from your retirement accounts because that's going to erode what you're saving and what you're trying to do at a later date when you're in your golden years. And then in retirement, there's other insurances we got to worry about. So there's actually 6. I added an extra one. So let's start with the basic one, life insurance. So a lot of times we get life insurance. Remember, we talked a whole segment about this, I think 2 weeks ago. You need, if you are working and you have a spouse and you have kids and you're the sole provider, you need 10 to 12 times your salary in life insurance. And the most affordable life insurance is term insurance, meaning at the end of the term, so you get a 20-year term, say you're 20 and a 40-year, when you're 40, it expires, right? And so the longer the term, the more expensive. But very, very important because what is your spouse going to do if you pass away, especially if she's a stay-at-home mother, right? And so life changes. We want to make sure those unexpected events are taken care of when they do rise. But let's just say you are 60 years old and you and your spouse have this life insurance policy that has $500,000 in death benefit, which is a wonderful thing because any death benefit is tax-free to you, to your beneficiary. But what if you have plenty of money saved up, plenty of income coming in? I would say if you're paying a couple $100 in insurance and you're not wanting to leave a legacy tax-free, or you don't have beneficiaries to give it to, basically dump it, get rid of it. You don't need it. But if you're somebody who hasn't saved enough and now you're retired, you have Social Security check, pension check, some other checks coming in, and just barely making everything work, and you're living off your investments, and if you pass away, your spouse loses your pension, or they lose one of the Social Security checks, or we lose a big amount of income, you definitely want to keep it. And so remember, life insurance is a big piece of financial planning, and most people need it. Some people don't, though. And so that's your job to come in, get a second opinion review from us here at Zinnia Wealth. Here, we're in Gainesville, Ocala, Orlando, Beverly Hills, within Central Florida area, to find out how much you need. Do you need it, or are you overfunded? Sometimes I think I'm a little overinsured. Would you guess? And so life insurance. So let's make sure we don't forget that one. Number 2, health insurance. I know sometimes it's hard to afford health insurance. But if you have a family especially, I'm going to tell you, health insurance crushes family household banks, okay? Crushes them. I see more people claiming bankruptcy just because some sort of bill came in, some minor surgery, they didn't have insurance, but it was $80,000. So you're ruining your credit or you're pulling out of your savings, which you don't want to do when you're trying to plan for retirement. So health insurance is so important. And we talked about all the different types of health insurances last week, how to get them, different income brackets and that kind of stuff. Just remember, one thing I didn't talk about, there are catastrophic plans out there that are very reasonable, very reasonable. And even if you're young and you're fresh out of college and you're not working yet, it would be worth it just in case. You just never know what life is going to present. And the big man upstairs makes that decision for us. But it's good to plan and be a wise steward of your finances. All right. Number 3, this one, I don't know what's happening in this world, but most people don't have this one anymore. It's called long-term disability insurance. I'm not talking about long-term care. Long-term disability insurance. So basically, if you're the main provider of the household and you get hurt and you're out of work for 6 to 8 months, who's going to provide? Who's going to bring bucks to the table to pay the bills, pay the groceries, pay the light bill? You know what I mean? Pay the gas at the pump. Disability insurance is meant to pay 50 to 60% of your lost salary if you get a disability, okay? I will tell you this. Some companies do offer, that you're working for, do offer small disability policies, but they're not enough. So you do have to go outside to private companies to purchase these. And I actually recommend you get enough coverage that covers 60 to 70% of your income if you have a loss of job, okay? Even if you're working and your spouse is working, if we lose one income, it is a big deal. So, and disability insurance is very, very affordable. So do know that. You just have to shop the market for it, okay? So disability insurance, the cost will just, it really ranges depending on your age, your health, your lifestyle, and actually the job you have. You could be a lineman. You might not be able to get the insurance, but usually those companies do cover you and give you some there. Okay, what does Susie Orman say here about health insurance? She says, basically suggests you, no, I don't like that. Nope. We're going to skip what she said because I don't agree with her. Isn't that nice? I can do that. But she's my girl, love her to death, but I don't like what she has to say here. So remember, you got Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Clark Howard. They say lots of stuff, but it doesn't always mean they're right. Okay, the next one, automobile insurance. I hope everybody who's watching, you have automobile insurance. Seriously, I have ran into people that said, no, I don't have any car insurance. I don't even know how that's legal anymore. You want insurance for your car. You want coverage that if somebody hits you and they don't have insurance, you're covered. Let me just kind of piggyback on this right here. Basically, Dave Ramsey suggests that the max that he recommends for liability coverage to get at least $500,000 in coverage. So this will cover accidents, liabilities, injuries, property damage. Okay, so yeah, basic stuff. So $500,000. So I know there's a lot of you sitting here saying, well, I only have $10,000, $20,000. I have at least $500,000 because if I go and I get a lawsuit because I hit somebody by accident, I want coverage. I do not want people suing me, taking my stuff. That's the worst situation. Pay a couple bucks to get those coverages because if you have assets, trust me, they're going to come after them. If you don't have assets, there's nothing to come after. Well, guess what? Maybe you don't need that much coverage. So also something to think about. Okay. You can also add this, an umbrella policy. I'm a fan of an umbrella policy. Basically it covers everything. So I have an RV, I have a house, I have a couple of cars, I have this, and that, right? And so there's insurance on each one of those, but then there's this umbrella policy in case, something really big happens. And it only costs me $250 extra a year to have. So talk to your local insurance people who are selling you your auto and homeowners, because we don't do that, and ask them, hey, what's the price on an umbrella policy? And it's definitely worth it. And I would get $1 million in coverage without a shadow of a doubt, especially if you're somebody who's driving around an RV or you have four-wheelers and you're letting friends play with them at your house, or even golf carts. So definitely be very careful. All right. So now let's talk about a combination of putting insurances together. Most policies, where whoever you're going to, they will let you to put a combo. We call it multi-package. A house insurance, they'll let you put the car insurance and umbrella insurance, and you usually get a discount. So I'm going to give you some tips. AARP, I would not go for that package program, because what I've seen my clients telling me stories over the years is after 2 years, they usually jack up the price. So what I did find out is when I started shopping years ago, who doesn't jump up the price that much on these policies? And they said AAA. So AAA members, you get a better price, and it sounds like it lasts a lot longer. And I'm going to tell you, a year from now, 2 years from now, this could all change. You know, who really knows, because companies are changing. I'm sure people are dropping policies a lot right now. So these insurance companies are dying for your business, and maybe you can get a good rate or a discount. Can't hurt to ask at all. Okay, so I think that covers it for basic insurance that we need to cover us for catastrophic events, so we're not pulling money out of our 401ks and IRAs, and we have money to live on. So that was number one. The last segment here for Zinnia U, we're going to talk about tips. If you're looking to purchase a home in the next 12 months, you know, I know a lot of you are looking. You're looking at homes. Trust me, I am too. I'm looking at homes I shouldn't even be looking in, actually, out of the Ocala area down south. And what you're forgetting to do is plan your finances. We can dream all day long. We can go to realtor.com and Zillow and look at homes all day long, but you need to put an action plan together. So while you're looking at these homes, let's start picking up the pieces in your finances. So let's start with number one, credit cards. I say pay down your credit cards. You have credit cards with 23% interest. Get rid of those, number one. Pay those down first, but don't pay them off. Always leave a couple of bucks on these credit cards, because it's showing you're making payments. So there's kind of a catch here when it comes to financing and getting a mortgage for these homes. They don't want you to have any debt. They want you to have a lot of income, but don't pay everything off, by golly, because now it looks like you don't have credit. So you have to be very careful. So if you have a $5,000 credit card, maybe I'll leave $300 there. Okay, pay it down to $300. Leave some sort of little balance on there. And that was recommended by Clark Howard, and he talks about that all the time on his show. You guys know who that guy is, right? So that's one thing. Now, they're really concerned about your FICO score when you're getting these mortgages. And you want a FICO score of 740 and above, but they can range from 300 to 850. So 740 and above, right? My buddy Scott Shannon, who owns NRL Mortgages, has basically taught me a lot about what has to happen when purchasing a home. So definitely he's locally if you need some a mortgage broker here. And basically, you want to keep the credit score up. So how do you pay off the debt and keep the credit score up and not pay all the credit cards, right? And do all this at one time. Remember, balances on the credit card, keep a little balance. That'll help your FICO score and other things that they're looking at. Now, let's look at paying down debt. So debt meaning, okay, I have a four-wheeler. Get rid of that. They're going to be happy to see the debt to ratio go down because you paid off a four-wheeler. Okay, so that's a different story. College loans, pay those off. They're all fine. Doesn't hurt your credit to pay off college loans. So pay college loans off. Let's see what another one is. That will help. Nope. Okay. So yeah, college loans, things, RV payments and boats and that kind of stuff. Again, to show consistent payments. If you don't have any payment anywhere because you're debt free and you follow the Dave Ramsey story, then it's going to be very hard to get financing because you have no credit. So now, you know, you did something really good and now you can't even go get a mortgage because you paid off everything and now you don't have proof of paying things. And your credit probably isn't that great, but you have plenty of cash. So you might be the person who's paying cash for your loan, for your home. Okay. Have spare cash on hand. So if you go get a loan here in 12 months to go buy a house, you need to have cash on hand because they want 3 to 6 months showing that if you can't pay this mortgage in a couple months, if they give it to you and you get laid off, that you can still afford to pay it. So you have to show money in the bank also. So make sure you're saving and putting money in the bank before you get this loan because that's a must. Okay, make sure you're paying down your credit cards, but not all the way down. And always high interest credit cards. I skip that rule. Just pay it off because it's too expensive. And then pay off those extra toys that we all like to purchase. So those are some tips there. And I think we're good there. Hey, if anybody has questions, I know I've been answering some of the questions out there. Feel free to ask them throughout the time. Mike, if I already answered one or somebody brings one in, just stop me and let me know. Okay, so somebody asked about cancer insurance. I've had a policy for 20 years. What do I think about it? Keep it. Cancer insurance policies should not be that expensive. Depending, if you had it 20 years ago, depends on your age. And you might need to talk to me personally for me to give you the advice. But I have yet to tell somebody to cancel their cancer policy. You're probably only paying between $250 to $700 a year, depending if you have dependents on the plan for the cancer policy. And if it's good cancer policy, depending on who it's with, and I'm sure it's a good policy. I would definitely just double check that it's worth it. You have to do the math on that. I can help you do that. But I would probably keep it. But I don't want to give you an absolute answer if I don't know what the policy is, who the company is, what the benefit is. I have cancer policies myself, and I just say, you know what? Could I afford to survive if I get cancer? Probably, but boy, does it help to have those bucks coming in if something like that were to happen. And anytime you can take stress off of you when you have these catastrophic events, it is worth its weight in gold. So if it's costing you $700 and you got a couple kids on it a year, probably worth it, definitely. And especially if you have a child who's on it and they get cancer and you're working and you can't work because you're driving up to Moffett or wherever you're trying to drive, those extra dollars are going to help. So can you afford $250 to $700 a year is up to you, but I would probably say yes on that. Great question, by the way. And I did not even have that in my options. Okie dokie. We are off to the races now. We're going to talk about our very last segment, doing good. A couple of things happening locally where they're doing good. And I'm going to start doing a top travel trip every week. Where can we go locally within driving distance, not having to hop on a plane, something that's affordable within the reach of Gainesville and Ocala area? And so I'm going to bring that to the table. And I have a couple of weekly discounts that are local that I think people should take advantage of. So I'm just adding that to our platform. So hopefully you're going to tune in. So doing good. Let's start with the first one. We have Tom Petty's birthday bash. Mike, do you have that picture up? Basically, this wonderful, wonderful musician, they're still celebrating his birthday, 70th birthday to be exact. It's been held every year since Tom Petty died in 2017. The party is going virtual this year due to COVID, and it has been announced, and they will keep an eye out. So keep an eye out for it because it's supposed to be pretty good. They do some pretty neat things. I don't know if anybody's ever attended one before, but happy birthday, Tom Petty, one of the masters of musicians out there. And go Gators, because that's where he's from. All right, next one. Here's the last one. Basically, do you have the picture up, Mike? It is a husband and wife. The husband is in a nursing home, has major dementia, and basically the wife could not go in and see him because COVID. So you know what she did? She got a job at the nursing home, and I thought that was just sweet as pie. One of the sweetest things I've ever seen. So she can see her. She's emptying the garbage can and washing dishes to see her husband. Now that is true love. True love. Just you had to share that with everybody. That was here locally. I'm not even sure exactly where, but took that note away. Okay, two features of things happening locally. All right, let's talk about our discounts and what is going on. Okay, if you're living in Gainesville or Ocala, if you've never heard of Crescent Beach, that would be crazy. But if you're new to the area, there's a Crescent Beach, which is on the east coast of Florida. But there's a little place called Crescent City. And let me get my notes because I wrote a bunch of stuff down on Crescent City. Crescent City is on 2 lakes, okay? 2 lakes, and there's so much to do on these lakes. Okay, I don't have my notes. I'm fired. And on these lakes, what you can do is that you can do river tours. You can do airboat tours, which is really neat. Kayaking, paddleboarding. You're not too far from the beach, And there's the amazing hiking trails. There's walking trails and there's equestrian trails. So it's about a 90-minute drive, depending on where you're located in North and Central Florida. But I wanted to share somewhere locally that wasn't Disney World, something that wasn't in the masses where everybody might be visiting to. And if you're really worried about COVID and you just want to do short day trips, this is a really neat spot to go. And it's very affordable. So Crescent City. All right, last but not least, we had breaking news. Dow falls more than 100 points. What do you know? We dropped a little bit. Sorry, it's going to pop up on my phone. All right, discounts of the week. So these are fantastic. Did you guys know that Dick's Sporting Goods basically has 40 different types of bikes, and they're close to $350 off a piece? Get over the Dick's, get some bikes. I need a new bike. I'm going. Also, you can go to Amazon and Best Buy online, and the MacBook Pro is $300 off. I'm going to go buy two because I actually just hired a new staff member and she needs one. And last but not least, Target. This is great. Target is offering $40 off your next purchase of $40 or more when you're approved for a Target Red Card. So a Target Red Card, it can be used as a debit card where it's connected to your bank, and or it's a credit card. And here's the thing, you also get 5% off your purchases when you have this card. So why wouldn't you have it if you shop at Target? And so those are our discounts of the week. Take advantage of them. And I'm going to start spotlighting them every week. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, don't forget, did I get anybody who did the trivia? Okay, so it sounds like we had a handful of people that only got 2 out of 4 right on our trivia questions. So no winners. It's our first week we didn't have a winner. I'm trying to get my questions because I want to give you the answers. I appreciate it because people are guessing and you're having fun with this. So that means you probably got, I don't know, you probably got the holiday wrong. Okay, number 1, it was all the above. How many paychecks should you have? I say Social Security, dividend check, pension, and or contractual guarantee, and maybe even a real estate check. So that was answer E. Number 2, how many days after leaving a job do you need to go apply for insurance? That's 60 days. Number 3, popular 80s TV show, the character named Hawkeye. That was MASH. I'm sure you all got that one right. And what is Charisse's favorite holiday? It used to be Christmas, so I'm sure a lot of you put Christmas, but it's actually 4th of July because that is my father's birthday, and he passed away last year of cancer, and we celebrate it with the family every year now going forward, which we just did. Locally in the Keys. So 4th of July is my favorite holiday for so many more reasons than just my father's birthday, but independence. We are here because of all that took place when it comes to our independence and what the United States stands for. So don't forget that. So again, no winners. I'm sad. I have no checks to mail this week. Okay, we'll work on this next week. Listen, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Go to zinniawealth.com. There is a red book to retirement. It's 37 pages long. Anybody and everybody should be reading it. You download it. It's absolutely free. zinniawealth.com. And remember, we go through a lot of things when we're doing this Facebook Live. Tune into my radio station and radio shows every weekend on 97.3 The Sky and 99.9. Remember, I'm here to inspire you, educate you, and get you to retirement and beyond. We would love to help you one day, give you a second opinion. Live by design and not at fault. And we'll see you here next week.
She is a financial planner and advisor.
She's the founder and president of Zinnia Wealth Management. She's also a popular radio show host.
There's a way to have your money market and have protected growth.
This holistic approach will help people get to and through retirement.
Absolutely.
You have to change the way that you think. It's not about having these double-digit returns anymore. Things are changing, and you have to have an advisor that's keeping up with the changes.
Outcome is going to become very desirable if you have some sort of coach helping you along the way.
And our next recipient for the Media Communications XP, Charisse.
Charisse Rivers.
Do not have to risk all your money in the market to survive because it's about the retirement dream.